Hey there, and welcome back to Don't Open That Door. Come along with our triumvirate of terror as we descend into darkness, travel into terror, and plunge into peril. If you've ever wondered where babies come from, you're in the right place. I'm Justin, and my teacher was a metaphysician philosopher.
Wow.
Okay. Sure. I'm Nico, and this movie has Dr. Van Helsing. Well, I'm Dr. Truck Heaven Scream.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see
Nico
what
loves
you did
doing one of those. Nico loves doing one of those.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of gonna do it, but I'm Dancula.
Oh! Hey.
Dancula?
Hey.
That works too.
Yo, bet fucking bricks there's a stoner horror movie called Dancula.
We gotta make one if there isn't.
We
do.
gotta.
We do.
TM.
Well,
DOTD Productions.
Well, not to bury the lead, but we are here today to review Bram Stoker. We are here today to review Bram Stoker's Dracula. Stoker.
It's hard to do, isn't it? It's hard.
So this one was directed by Francis Ford Copolla, starring Gary Oldman as Dracula.
No.
It's not Coppola?
Coppola. Not Coppola. Like CO-Pola.
Okay.
Coca-Cola.
Okay. This was directed by Francis Ford Copolla.
No.
Coppola. Okay. So this one was directed by Francis Ford Copolla, starring Gary Oldman as Dracula, Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker, Winona Ryder as Mina, Sadie Frost as Lucy, Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing, Billy Campbell as Quincy, and Nico damn well would have us include Monica Bellucci as one of Dracula's brides. So, we open up with Dracula, pre-vampire, as a warrior of the church. He fervently fights in the name of God, and he is very much in love with his wife, Elisabetta. One day he goes out to fight the Turks. I guess people
from Final Fantasy VII.
No, I had to differentiate because he could be fighting like Reno and Rude and whatnot, I guess.
Yeah.
But he was like engaging them in this battle where he had a pretty good chance of dying. Too bad he's fucking Dracula though. So he's so badass he didn't die and he in fact won. But the Turkish people he was fighting were mad salty. So they sent a message to Elisabetta telling her that her husband was dead. Now, you could say that Elisabetta jumped to conclusions.
Oh
my God.
So,
that's some dark humor right there.
Wow.
And that's like a double entendre, but without bothering to confirm what actually happened to Dracula, she plunges off a ravine to her death. This is quite sad. It's very sad. She probably should have waited like a day or something like that. But anyhow, I feel like this is going to have an impact on the future. Dan?
Well, speaking of the future. We skip forward about 400 years, and we're over in jolly old England, roundabouts 1897, and we meet Jonathan Harker, a young solicitor who has just been given an assignment to travel to Transylvania and handle the affairs of an eccentric old Count Dracula. Jonathan is excited for his assignment, but somewhat disappointed as it means that he has to delay his marriage to his fiancée Mina. Jonathan heads to Transylvania and Mina stays with her friend Lucy, an affluent socialite. We are introduced to three men who are in love with Lucy: Quincy the American, Dr. Seward, and Lord Arthur Holmwood. Lucy decides to marry Arthur.
Well, I guess love is in the air, Nico, but what's happening over in Transylvania?
So over in said Transylvania, Jonathan has a bunch of scary and sexy encounters on his way to... Nope,
he does not.
No, he does not.
No,
that's one afterwards.
He doesn't. Yes.
I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry. So over in Transylvania, Jonathan has a bunch of very unsexual encounters that are still scary. And when he arrives, don't worry about it, bro. When he arrives at the castle, he is greeted by the man, the myth, the legend, Dracula, who at this point is a withered old man who's got these weird fucking snowball beehives for hair.
Bro, he's about to audition for the Sailor Moon, bro.
Yo, I swear to God.
Sailor Dracula.
Gonna be the crossover of the century. But he seems basically just eccentric, but kind of harmless.
Mhm.
Having said that, things change real quick once Jonathan realizes that Dracula is really truly keeping him prisoner more than as a guest. So, after being told explicitly, hey, don't explore the castle, it's a very bad idea, he explores the castle, but he's caught by Dracula's previous brides. And they go down to Bone Town, baby. And Dracula comes in to his rescue, I guess.
Yeah.
But he eventually leaves to go to England and has Jonathan just wasting away in Marga Blood Drinkerville.
Wow.
The bride's going to town, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, this infidelity's going on, and trust me, Mina's not going to let that stand. So, back in England, Mina's worried about Jonathan having only received a very cold and impersonal letter explaining his absence. Dracula shows up in England now, and after meeting Lucy in her garden, he bites her, which begins to turn her into a vampire. Come on, it was rated PG, Mr. Unsexy Adventure. Let me hear more
not
about
rated
that.
PG. This movie is not rated PG.
No way.
There's nothing
This is
about this
rated
movie
PG.
that's PG.
No. I said he met Lucy in her garden. That was a double entendre.
Uh-huh.
That was a very
Yeah.
PG
So
entendre.
your line is PG. I thought you meant the movie is PG.
Oh, hell no.
It's like, in what fucking world?
We'll talk about this later. But anyhow, Lucy's condition then deteriorates, and Dr. Seward calls his mentor, Abraham Van Helsing, to come help out. Also, Dracula now assumes the form of a young man, I guess because he took in enough blood or whatever. He kind of de-aged a little bit. And he meets Mina, realizing that she looks exactly like his wife from 400 years ago.
Shock and awe.
The two fall for each other, but Mina kind of sort of still wants to make things work with Jonathan. And speaking of, Jonathan actually somehow manages to escape Dracula's brides and the castle, and he makes it to a convent. So Mina, he writes to Mina saying that he wants to marry her ASAP. So Mina leaves and tries to forget about Dracula, and she goes to marry Jonathan. Naturally, Dracula is very sad at this development, and he cries blood and all this other shit. So, Nico, hit me with it. What's really good next?
So Lucy dies, but
Unfortunate.
comes back as a vampire. Who could have seen this coming? But luckily, Van Helsing knows exactly what is up and knows exactly what the fuck to do. This man does not fuck around even a little. But he does say yeah a lot, which is charming. So he leads Arthur, Dr. Seward, and Quincy, and they stake Lucy and cut off her head with a quickness, releasing her from the embrace of undeath.
Well, that's poetic.
Mina and Jonathan come back, and Jonathan regales Van Helsing with his tale, while Mina is naturally very sad that Lucy's dead, because they were super fucking close. All the guys leave Mina behind then, and they go to burn down Dracula's real estate and destroy his coffins. But Dracula links up with Mina before cancel culture makes it to him, I guess. And proceeds to literally cuck Jonathan.
Yo.
He does. Mina then willingly falls under the sway of Dracula from here. And with his property destroyed, Dracula flees back to Transylvania, and the group pursue him as Mina falls further under Dracula's power.
See, this is why Raekwon said to diversify your assets, but Dracula was clearly not listening to Only Built for Cuban Links 1 or 2.
He
I
was
don't know.
not.
His assets are, I mean, he's supposedly bought like a bunch of property,
Yeah.
but we never hear anything about the other ones.
Maybe
so-
Dracula's a landlord and he rents it out. That's what he's doing with the
Yeah.
rest
Oh,
of it.
He's just a fucking slumlord.
He might be. Anyhow. No, but that's where the kids come from, no doubts. He literally takes from the babies from the villages he owns.
Shit, man. That's
Yeah, see?
Well, that's dark.
Yeah.
God.
It's fucking
Anyways,
Dracula. It's not a happy story.
The movie reaches its climax as the group meets up with Dracula and his human consorts. Van Helsing fends off Dracula's brides as Arthur, Quincy, Dr. Seward, and Jonathan fight their way to Dracula. Quincy is mortally wounded, but plunges his Bowie knife into Dracula's chest, mortally wounding him.
Aha!
Mina runs to Dracula's side, and the group leave knowing that their work is done, and they just kind of leave him there. Dracula retakes his human form, and he asks Mina to give him peace, and she kills him. The end.
Can I just say that shit was straight up like the end of a video game where like the quest is over and then the NPCs just like turn and walk away.
Fucking dip.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they all did. Like,
Yeah.
like they were like Arthur, I think, tries to like kill Mina and Dracula. And then they're like, stop. It's over. And I was like, is it?
Is this a cutscene now?
I was like, I don't think
Dracula's
it's over.
still alive.
And also, if Mina turns into a vampire,
Yeah.
like she could just start this shit over again. So question marks all around. But the first question I'm going to ask, how does this movie look? And I'm going to take it first here because I'll tell y'all this. I fucking love this movie's aesthetic.
Yeah.
At the start, Dracula has this really cool armor. It's like some kind of blood armor or something like that. It's really dope. I enjoy a lot of Lucy's outfits, particularly when she turns into vampire Lucy. That's a real chilling fucking outfit. I like Mina's outfits. I like Monica Bellucci's outfit. Like, I like all the outfits in this joint. So, and the aesthetic as well, like I said before. Dan, what's your take on the looks here?
I really like a lot of the effects and everything. They actually didn't really use special effects. I think I was reading that like the only special effect is like the blue flame or something like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that you see is like what were camera tricks and projecting images on. Like there's a scene where Jonathan Harker, like you see like a map, like it's like he's thinking and you can like see the map or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's actually like a projection onto him. And so they do a lot of like real life camera tricks to get everything working like that, which I thought was pretty cool. And the costumes were really cool. I thought like Dracula as a bat thing looked
That was really
pretty
cool.
fucking cool actually. I really, really enjoyed the look of this movie and the aesthetics.
I mean, Nico, is this aesthetic or not?
It is absolutely aesthetic as hell, and as someone who is playing a character in D&D who is part vampire and can do wacky shit with a shadow, it is really fun to see whenever a movie uses shadows to its benefit, particularly this one. There is so much charisma just from what is a silhouette of Dracula, but it just adds so much presence to the entire movie.
You talked about charisma, and I do want to like interject this point real quick. So the list of actors that I mentioned was longer than we normally have it, and we left off so many fucking people, and it's, I don't know, like it's fucking nuts. But in terms of sound, Dan, I want to talk to you about the sound, bro. How the movie sound?
I think it sounds great.
Yes.
I actually like it. The soundtrack is really, it's orchestral. It's bombastic at times. It's a lot of fun, I thought. The sound effects were, for the most part, pretty cool. There's a couple like kind of cheesy screams and stuff, like especially near the beginning, like the war scenes at the very beginning. But overall, I like the sound of it quite a bit.
So I like the sound as well. There's one thing I got to give a real kind of special shout out to, though.
Yeah, what's that?
So
What's that, Justin? What's that?
both Lucy and Mina, but probably more so Lucy, when they're kind of like sick or under Dracula's sway, they kind of moan or whatever else. But like, nah, like they really, I don't know what the voice direction was on this or the direction in general, but they really did play up
You don't?
the whole, they really
Are you
played
sure?
up the whole kind of sexual side of it. Cause literally like, I mean, I was just chilling watching this movie, bruh. And then all of a sudden, Lucy over here giving like a little show. She's like, ah, ah, ah. And all of a sudden, like my roommate's like, bruh. I'm like, no. It's Dracula. It's classy. I'm like, nah, relax. So
See,
they do
listeners
that.
can't see the best part of these Justin noises is not the noise itself. It's the face that he makes when he does them. That's the best part of this.
It's some real like haunted looking shit. I can't even begin to describe you. His face takes upon the appearance of some sort of cyclopean geometry.
All right, bruh. Well, I'm
He
not.
shines very bombastically.
He does.
I might not ask you to describe cyclopean geometry, but Nico, can you describe the sound in this movie aside from the orgasmic voice acting?
Literally so, yes. This is a treat to listen to in terms of the dialogue. Everything just is so well done and so very driven, and these feel like real people more so than most movies, I would say, with some exceptions. It's just like you said, it is a star-studded cast, and they all do just incredible performances in this, I think.
Mm-hmm. 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 So I want to bring this question to the room here. First off, is this horror, romance, or perhaps, as I don't know if it was Nico or Dan who wrote this, or is it perhaps homance, the best of both worlds?
There's a little bit of homancing going on, actually.
The ancient art of homancy.
Yeah, Mina is definitely like
a level 20 homancer.
I was about to say I'm a first level homancer, bro. I don't have the hose like that. I'm trying to get up there ASAP.
I'm hoping to multi-class into homancer next level myself.
Dan was talking about the movie, you know.
We were.
Trying. We all were trying.
Keep going, Dan. You were talking about homancy, though.
Well, I was just saying that I think Mina tries to be a hoe. She's kind of like, I try to be a good girl,
but
bad. Maybe I'm a hoe. She definitely like says that. But I mean, it's interesting because I mean, this movie is definitely horror. Like, there's a lot of horror shit in this movie for sure.
Yep.
There's also a lot of romance. Like, all jokes aside, there's like, it is a romance, like, in a horror setting as well. Like, I think it's equal parts horror and equal parts romance. And even at the end, I mean, that's like the end of a love story, kind of, you know? So I'd say it's equal parts.
The end of multiple love stories, really.
Yeah.
Fair.
And this is something that I questioned a little bit because, so Lucy to me is more so of a victim than Mina is, because I think Lucy straight up, like, Dracula just uses his trance-like powers because she's in like a trance when she sleeps with him, and she straight up, I don't think she ever really ever wanted to be with Dracula ever, never ever.
Yeah,
like, he straight up like vampires her, classic vampire stuff. But then Mina, though, like, Dracula actually makes an effort and at one point in time says, no, I won't do this to you. Like, I'll cuck Jonathan, sure, but I'm not going to turn into a vampire. And Mina's like, I want it. I don't care. And I'm just like, damn, like, girl, you actively chose to become undead.
Yeah, she did.
Like, and then she started like sucking on Dracula's nipple. But that was because he had cut it so that she could like drink blood. But like that
dude. Winona Ryder was just sucking on a titty. He cut his abs.
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right, but that facial expression that he gave was like, when you nut but she keep going. That was his facial expression, bro. And I wrote that down in my notes.
That's this movie, dude.
Yeah.
It is, in fact. But I wrote that down in my notes because I thought it very important to bring to the forefront. So, yeah, I mean, there's that. Now, I guess it's worth bringing it up as well. This does play into the mythos of vampires as well, because, like, not just as an aesthetic, but as a general lore-based concept, vampires have kind of always been written as, like, sexualized beings, and, like, just generally that's how they've always been.
Yeah.
So as we joke around very immaturely about the movie, I do think that it is worth noting that I do think the movie does give like an actually good, not that Dracula was a good person, he's a really bad person.
Yeah.
He does really bad things, but it is an accurate portrayal, IMO, of like a lot of vampire lore and legends, and kind of leading it into the book without, because I don't think either of you guys have read the book, right?
I have not.
So
to my shame.
As a quick question, just if you had to guess, how closely do you think the movie followed the book?
I'd say my guess would be pretty close. Maybe like a couple, like relatively minor things here or there, but I feel like it's probably pretty close.
I hope to God that it is close because I'm not going to bury the lead. This movie fucking whips. So, like, I hope that Dracula is as good as this movie was, but I'm going to guess that they were a little bit more. I think they might have cherry picked some things.
So literally, I will tell you, like, this book literally is the closest to the novel I've seen of all the Dracula movies I've seen. This book is the closest to the book.
This movie?
Or this movie is closest to the book. The biggest difference and the biggest change is Mina is not into Dracula at all. That whole subplot about Dracula having a wife and all that other bullshit never happened. Literally, Dracula comes over, he attacks Lucy, drains her. Also, the whole beast sex thing never happens in the garden. Like, he just regular vampires her. And there's a little bit more of a fight, but Van Helsing, I don't think, got there in time to really have a big effect. So Lucy dies, and then Mina goes through it, and they really try to protect Mina. And even Renfield, the inmate in the psych
Tom Waits'
ward,
character.
Yeah, so like Renfield basically actively tries to protect Mina to the best of his ability in the book.
Good.
Because he like feels bad, and like Mina's the one person who like he really shows a lot of sanity for. Honestly, Renfield's a kind of character that like I feel like is easy to cut from things because he doesn't impact the story really at all. Like his role is to be killed by Dracula, and also Renfield was not a solicitor in the book. He was just always in the psych ward. So, but outside of that, it's actually surprisingly accurate to the book, including the Demeter, the ship that they come across, and like the whole passage about the Demeter. It's completely accurate. Very, very, very accurate. So they actually did a pretty good job. And I think aside from differentiation, this movie really deserves the title of Bram Stoker's Dracula because it tells the story of Bram Stoker's Dracula pretty much with some changes.
Question for you. I mean, I'm pretty sure, isn't the book like told from Jonathan Harker's like journal kind of writing as well?
Yes and no. The book is entirely told through journal entries of the different characters.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so that was going to be my follow-up with her, because I know there's a brief section in the movie where we hear like Mina's journal entry, but I wasn't sure if she was that in the book as well. So
yeah, I mean, Jonathan does comprise a large portion of the entries, but Dr. Seward has a bunch. Lucy, I think, has a couple. Mina has a bunch too. But yeah. And also, like, they're pursuing Dracula because he needs to die. Like, that's the motivation to pursue Dracula. But
well done.
Real quick, I want to go back now to the actual nipple sucking scene. So,
Okay.
That is how Van Helsing implied vampirism would be transferred. That you had to consume the blood of the vampire. It wasn't you getting your blood sucked. It was you taking the vampire's blood into yourself.
So then did Lucy take the blood into her?
That is the assumption, that she had to do that. Otherwise, she would never have become a vampire. So I suppose it is assumed that she may have consumed some of Dracula's blood when they had sex, or
I thought it was both. Like you had to do both, or like I don't know.
So, and that's what I want to ask you guys. What do you think about how vampirism seems to be transferred in the movie?
I kind of thought that when Mina was licking up his blood, I thought that was going to be like she was going to be more powerful because she was getting like Dracula's blood versus just like somebody being bitten. Like I thought they would still be vampires, but she would be like the supreme vampire, vampire queen kind of thing.
That is a solid point, and it has backing in lore that you generally, the more noble and powerful vampire that turns you, the more powerful you are in turn. But Nico, I want to turn to you. What are your thoughts on turning?
See, I always thought that it was just the bite that did it, but that perhaps the sucking blood from him represented a more symbolic bond in their relationship than anything, perhaps, because it's basically in addition to a proposal for life, it's kind of like almost a marriage proposal in a certain way, or at least not marriage, but there's some sort of ceremony to it all, like
There certainly is. And
That's true.
blood swapping ceremonies, there have been many of them throughout different cultures in the world.
yeah.
And also considering the fact that, recall Queen of the Damned, that Lestat consumes the blood of another vampire, which is kind of how he gains more power and shit like that. And that kind of tracks with like how other things work as well. Remember Underworld, which I'm sure we've seen, that Selene drinks the blood as well.
Yeah,
With,
true.
Like an ancient and stuff like that. And like drinking blood's always a way to attain power. In a lot of myths, so some myths make a difference between vampires and ghouls. And that like if you don't properly become a vampire, you in fact become a ghoul.
See, that's what I thought Lucy was, or was turning into one at any rate.
And Van Helsing doesn't help because he refers to her as a Nosferatu, which could maybe possibly apply to either or type scenario. Lucy also doesn't display intelligence on the same level as Dracula or Mina. So you might have an argument there actually. So there is that as well. But I do think that where Van Helsing approaches it from a scientific point of view, that the blood has to like be transferred or whatever else, I do think that just in a ritualistic sense, I tend to agree with you, Nico. I think in order to become a true vampire, some blood exchange may also be required. And that's kind of how I feel about that, which kind of puts a little bit of a downer on the classic scene. Like you see Dracula with his cape and he holds it out and then he plunges his fangs into some beautiful woman and turns her into a vampire, which he's like, actually, we have to trade now.
I have
But-
a small vial. Just take it in a shot glass. It is fine.
Mix it into some water. It's like Mio, but it's me. So no sponsor.
Yet.
So I want to ask now, we've talked about a lot of stuff, but we got to talk about this ending. So at the end, like a ray of light comes down on Dracula and he kind of attains his human form, whether he changes to it or is changed to it. There's that ray of light that comes down, and I think Mina has like a wafer burn on her forehead from like a holy wafer that like Van Helsing like kind of gave her the wafer, and like on her forehead he like smacked her
It's
with
a
it or whatever.
communion wafer, for the record, not like a fucking Ritz.
Oh no, yeah, I mean the Ritz cracker would not have worked in this scenario. Definitely not. No, no matter
I'll
how
take a Ritz
buttery,
cracker all day though.
no matter how buttery and
Straight up.
delicious, it would not have worked. So, what do you guys think? Is Dracula redeemed at the end? Does he go to heaven?
Nah. Nah, definitely not. There's no way Dracula goes to heaven. Like, as charismatic as that dude is, like, no, this is not a Zuko level redemption arc. This is just a particularly, I think, emotive scene where, admittedly, we do get some sympathy drawn up from the wells of our sad little hearts because Gary Oldman just such a good goddamn job at what he does.
So, I'm gonna say this. The Wikipedia says this, and I did watch for this on the movie, but at the end it says she decapitates him and gazes up at a fresco of Vlad and Elisabetta, finally reunited and ascending to heaven together. I'm in agreement with you. Fuck this dude. Because he's a baby eating, like, don't get me wrong, like, Dracula's like a fucking, like, he's a baby eating, like, sexual predator. Like, Dracula's like all of the above and not a good person at all. So I'm just kind of like, why this man got to go to heaven?
I feel like, I mean, I didn't quite get the heaven part of it, but I think that as a plot device isn't the right way to say it, but in the confines of this movie, I think they do that to represent him finding redemption. Not necessarily like redemption on a, heaven scale and everything, but like hey, like, I mean, he even says, like, Mina, I don't want you to become what I am. And she's like, no, I want to. So she takes his blood instead of him taking her. And
Well, he does that too.
He does that too.
Well, I mean, yeah, true. But I mean, I feel like the end, he finds redemption. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I think that the movie is trying to say that he found redemption for what he did to what he's done within the confines of this particular movie.
Kind of like his personal arc as a character, his own development, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I'd like
I
to
didn't
remind
explain
everyone
that
at this
too well,
point that he ate a baby. But
Does he?
bro, you got the baby and he bring it. I'm sure he had a little taste. You know what I mean?
Bruh, I don't know. That's on you, bro.
I'm sure he did.
They show him with the baby, and then
Maybe
the
he's
baby's
just a
gone.
fan of Jonathan Swift.
Anyhow, well, it's time for the what would you do? And we've
Not eat a
covered-
fucking baby.
Probably not. Probably not. But all that to say, we've done Dracula already a couple times, like different variations of the Dracula mythos. So this is going to be a little bit different, I feel like. But
Okay.
if you knew you had to kill Dracula, what would your plan of action be? Would you like wait till daybreak, try and do that? Would you try and confront him at night? Would you be sneaky and wait for him to go out at night and then try and destroy his, coffin and shit so he didn't have a place to return to? What would be your avenue of attack, so to speak?
So I just want to check something and make sure, because this is relevant information as per our previous review that had vampires. How close are we to New Mexico? I need to know the distance to
We're
the
in
haven
England. We're in England.
Catholics. Oh, all right. Well, I guess we're fucked then. We can't get Jack Crow on the job.
Nope.
Bruh, okay. Real talk. Jack Crow versus Dracula in this movie. Who wins?
Jack Crow, I think.
Yeah.
To be fair, like when
Dude got
Jonathan...
downed with just like a knife. Which, I mean, yeah, knives kill people, ho ho ho, but like I was expecting him to put up more of a fight. Maybe that's because I'm watching Castlevania on the anime on Netflix, and that dude's a bad motherfucker, so I have warped expectations. I don't know.
In the book,
you got a point though, Nico. You got a point. Because like, yes, he does get stabbed in the heart, but like he's just stabbed.
Yeah, he didn't get
like any other
technically.
person would be stabbed. He just like gets stabbed and Dracula's done.
bro,
Wow.
I feel like Dracula more so gave up. Okay, so yes, you have to like stake a vampire through the heart, but he didn't get staked. He got stabbed. There's a difference. And that's why, like, when they were killing Lucy, they didn't stab her through the heart. They staked her. And they pounded the stake into her. And then they chopped off her head and
Again,
filled
with like
it with...
zero hesitation, which props to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they chopped off her head really quick. I wasn't expecting that. But they chopped off her head and they stuffed it with garlic. Like...
Does chopping off a head just preclude all of the above, or supersede all the above, rather?
No. So that was the thing. The only way it could be possible for the vampire to not return was to stake him, chop off the head, and then fill it with garlic. That would be the only way.
Well, Van Helsing fucked up because all he did was chop off those brides' heads and then toss them out the ravine. That was a weird scene too, by the way.
That was fucking funny is what it was.
Yo, what about Mina like straight up spell casting at one point?
Yeah, that was weird. I would have been like, maybe I could stop this? No, I'm just going to let her keep doing her thing.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But to, I guess, get to the point, I would probably like try and destroy his coffin more so, and then pursue him after I've destroyed the coffin, because you can never defeat a vampire at night. You just can't. So to kind of go for the coffin, burn down the house, and try and smoke him out that way. That's how you got to do it.
You would smoke him out? That's what you would do?
Yeah, man.
420 friendly, bro.
Shut the fuck up. Maybe all Dracula really needed was some weed, bro.
You know, I've been really anxious about this whole killing people thing. I think I might take up gardening.
We've missed an opportunity here, though.
Oh,
Yeah, what's
to
that?
bring back the Dracula voice, the vampire
Nico,
voice?
we actually
Yeah.
got comments about that.
No bullshit.
listeners of the pod will remember Nico did a fucking vampire voice for the entirety of our Trick or Treat review for
Yeah.
last Halloween. This Halloween, someone else has to do an accent. I don't know who's doing what, but
We'll see.
we'll have to find out.
We'll
We'll
have
have to
to
find
see.
out. But anyways, I want to talk about the critics review here. And I realized no one got to answer how they killed Dracula. So Dan, Nico's goes to New Mexico. What are you going to do?
I would try to trap him outside, which
Oh.
would probably include destroying his coffin so he can't go home at night.
Yeah.
But like, I would just probably like try to trap him outside. I don't know that I'd be successful, but like outside in the daytime and shit.
Oh, I see what
But,
you're
like,
saying.
I probably wouldn't be successful, but that's
Well,
what I
keep
would
in
do.
mind, he does actively wander around during the day.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
could potentially just like catch him on the street, like catch him slipping.
Yo, I have a genuine question about that in terms of like his whole like not to mention the whole fucking thing like Dracula has 10 houses and more, I guess, but like in terms of taking over the area and making sure that to destroy the coffin, etc., and what all remains there, could gentrification beat Dracula?
Dracula's like, I used to have 10 houses. Now I have a basement.
There's a fucking
Gentrification.
Starbucks where there used to be a chapel.
See, I don't know. These are good
I
questions
don't
that
know.
we need to ask. But, I mean, I don't know. But Dan, you bring up a good point. I forgot that he was walking around like a nobleman on the streets and whatnot. But his guard was definitely lowered, bruh. How does man gonna be
True.
walking around with like a wooden cane when I can just break it and stab you in the heart, bruh? Like you gotta be better than that.
Yeah.
Good point.
Gotta be quicker than that.
But now it's time to see how good you guys are. So, where do you think this ranks on Rotten Tomatoes? And I swear to God, Nico, we just discussed the process for killing a vampire. I'm going to do the same shit to you if you get this right. So, why don't you go ahead and why doesn't everyone tell me? No pressure. What is the score?
I'm gonna say 89.
I'm gonna say a 95.
All right, Nico, you live for the next week. The
Oh.
critics put this one at 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. The audience a bit more generous
Okay.
at 79%. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about this movie? And where would you rank it?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. There's a lot that just happens. And
Yeah.
you kind of question it when it happens, and then you're like, all right, you know what? That just
It happened.
happened, and we're going to continue
For example, Anthony Hopkins fucking teleports in this movie.
on. Yep. There's just like Lucy, just like, you know that one scene in Nightmare on Elm Street with the blood
Oh,
out
the blood?
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to Lucy.
Yeah.
And then the very next scene,
inexplicably.
yeah, the very next scene, she's just like gracefully lying dead in her coffin. And I'm like, wait, she just exploded in blood.
Wait, you said wait for that. Elizabetta threw herself off a castle into a ravine.
Oh, yeah.
They found her,
In
and
like
all she had,
pristine condition.
and all she had was like the slightest trickle of blood running out of her cheek. And I was like, yo, this woman
Uh-huh.
fell at least like 100 feet to her death.
Yeah.
Like,
This woman should look like a chewed up peanut butter jelly sandwich.
bruh, and there's wolves too. Like, they should, nah, get out of here with all that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of shit like that. There's rats walking on the ceiling. There's a lot of
Forgot
just
about that.
shit that
Hey, yo,
just
rats can do
happens.
that in real life.
Real quick, my favorite scene. I know it
Only
wasn't
in New
asked,
York,
but I'm gonna
though.
say it anyways.
Okay.
My favorite scene is when Lucy comes back as a vampire, and she like walks down the steps. And she's carrying this like little kid,
Yeah.
and then as soon as the people like confront her, she turns around and she just drops the kid. I was dying. She just fucking drops him or her. But it was actually a really good movie. A lot of really cool visual things happen. Even though like some of it's just kind of like, yo, what just happened? It's all really cool too, though. So I'm gonna give it what I thought the critics did, 89. I really enjoyed it.
So real quick, Dan, you reminded me of something. In the book, so they didn't immediately kill Lucy right away, and she actually goes on like a killing spree and kills a bunch of children.
Damn.
Like, yeah, I know, it's kind of dark. Like, the book is dark as shit. And like, that's one of the things she does. She goes around killing a bunch of kids, and they realize like,
So Mina's
it's
much
Lucy.
Mina in the book?
No, Lucy's Mina.
Oh, Lucy. Damn it.
But I love this movie. I love vampire movies. I just generally enjoy the gist of this movie. And like, I've literally seen this movie. So for some reason, I just hadn't watched it until like 2 years ago. And over the last 2 years, I must have seen this movie like 3 or 4 times. So I really, 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 really enjoy this movie. And I mean, I've seen a lot of really shitty Dracula takes. So it does me good to see a good one. I agree with everything Dan said. I am not super hot on the ending. And part of it is like straight up Mina and Jonathan have a kid and they name him after Quincy in the book. Cause like the book really impresses how much of a badass Quincy is. Like he is like, imagine like the best qualities of like an American cowboy, and that is Quincy. And he's my favorite character in the book. So I'm going to give this one pretty similar to what Dan did. I'm going to give this one a 91. And I think this is honestly like a very good vampire tale. And it is the best Dracula adaptation.
I am also gonna give it a 91. This is a movie that is just so much fun. And after having had this conversation with you all, it is wild that the first time I saw this movie was with my parents and my brother when I was super young, just like everyone was chill about it all. But I mean, that's life.
So time to throw our chips on the table here. Would we recommend this movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely. Golden Seal, though.
I don't know. I want to, but I don't know.
I want to know.
Can you show me?
I'm gonna have to say no. It's damn close, but I'm gonna throw the X on it.
All right. Well, Dan spared me from having to make the choice. I might have said yes, but Dan spared me from having to make the choice. So, if you like this movie, don't like this movie, like vampires, don't like vampires, or have anything you want to tell me, go ahead. Hit us up. Or Nico, or Dan. Hit us up. We're on social media. Of course, we're on Twitter and Instagram at DOTD Horror. We're also on Facebook. Don't open that door. So yeah, drop us a line, chat, and see what's up. And of course, you can always catch every episode we've ever done on our website. That's dotdhorror.com. But till then,
rate our shit 5 stars on whatever you're listening to, please. We love you.
that too. Drop us a review. Rate us, a good rating if you like us. It really helps us, with everything we do. So, always remember, dear listener, take care of one another. Den die to 10 retention L. And as always, don't open that door. Bye.